What's going on, guys? This is B Red here,
And this is Postman.
and this is our first episode of 2025.
That's crazy, man. Another year gone.
Yeah, hopefully this year is a little better than last year, but I gotta stop saying that. Have you seen what all happened on the first day of 2025?
No, enlighten me.
All right, well, there was a New York shooting. Four guys shot up a nightclub and injured 10 people. They think it was gang related.
Okay.
The other one was
New Orleans.
the New
Yeah,
Orleans.
yeah, yeah.
Guy killed 14 or 15 people, and 30 or so are injured. Um, that guy was active military, apparently.
Mm,
Apparently, he was radicalized, and he had like a ISIS flag on his truck and everything.
mm.
And then you had the um, Tesla bomb. So there was another active military guy, and he parked up at the Trump hotel or whatever, and he had a bunch of fireworks, gasoline, and stuff like that in the back of his Tesla truck. And apparently, he shot himself, and before he shot himself, somehow um, lit his truck on fire and it exploded. Luckily, it didn't kill anybody, so that's the good news there. Hot little potato said hello.
Oh, okay.
Let me say hi or hello. But yeah. So the first day of 2025 was pretty hectic overall. Hopefully, it gets better.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully it gets better. It does suck that all that happens. Unfortunately, that's just the way life is, and it's stuff like that's just gonna happen no matter what.
So, what'd you do to bring in the new year? Did you sleep?
What do you mean, did I sleep?
Like, what'd you do?
We stayed up until I think like 11:40 something, and then we went to sleep. So it wasn't that exciting or whatever. Um, but yeah, let's see. Oh, you want to know what I learned?
What?
All right, so I found a video on TikTok where it was this guy that he just picked random rocks and cut them in half,
Okay.
and some of the rocks look pretty cool. Like if you cut some rocks in half, like they come out to certain designs and stuff. So I learned that you can't just go around and just cut whatever rocks you want. And the reason why is some rocks have certain chemicals like silica and a bunch of other chemicals. And if you cut them, you release those into the air. And when you breathe them in, they're toxic and poisonous. And
Mm.
you could be breathing in like a poisonous chemical or whatever from the rock you cut without knowing it and end up getting poisoned and dying.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that because I was actually going to order me a wet saw to cut some rocks, and then the it was like a thing that popped up in the corner, like make sure you know your rocks and everything, and your you know
Hmm.
chemicals and whatnot. So I might not be doing that because I don't know anything about rocks or any chemicals and stuff, and I don't want to poison myself. So that idea is out the window unless I start studying up on chemicals and everything like that. But yeah, that's something that I never even thought about. Like you go pick up a rock and it could be poisonous if you
Yeah, I mean, depending on what's inside of it.
yeah. That's just pretty cool. Um, Another thing is did you know that if you live in the UK that you have to pay a TV license like payment to the government every year? Even if you don't use the TV, if you have a TV in your house, you have to pay like a licensing fee.
I've never heard of this now.
Yeah. So unfortunately, for the UK people, they have to pay every year to have a TV. And that's just a rule that the UK government came up with,
I
unfortunately.
wonder how much it is.
I mean, we can find out. Let me go to Google.
Good
Let's
old
see.
Juju.
How much? I can't type. All right. So the UK TV license fee is 169 per year in pounds. I wonder what that is in. Let me see. Let me see what it is.
That is $209.
So $209 a year
Just to have
a TV in the
Yeah.
UK.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. That's insane.
That's actually. I mean, that's more than my taxes, my property taxes.
That's more than your property taxes?
Yeah.
Dang. My property taxes
For the trailer, not my.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not my house, no.
All right. I was gonna say my property taxes is way more than that.
You pay your property taxes?
Yeah, I pay my property taxes.
Why doesn't the bank do that for you?
No, so the only way that I could get all my land and this property or whatnot is I had to go through I can't remember what type of loan it is. It's like it's not like the first homeowner's loan or anything, like where everything has to be perfect. This loan, it had like numbers in it or something. I can't remember what it was called, but what it is I'm responsible for my tax payments. So every year, instead of it being bundled up and with the bank or whatever, I go down to the county house and just pay them. So yeah, so every year I pay. It's roughly 1,700. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the price of land, unfortunately. But yeah. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, did you hear about the Virginia guy that had 150 pipe bombs in his house?
No.
So actually, here, let me have it tagged, so that way I can read it and actually know a little bit about something. So there was a guy in Virginia. I don't want to name any names or anything. Well, I guess I could since it's public now, right? I'm not exactly sure.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's public. So there's a guy named Brad Spatford. There's no connections. We're not all bad. But yeah, basically the FBI went to his home, and he lives near Norfolk, and they found 150 pipe bombs. They don't believe, there was anything bad. It's just, apparently it's illegal to have pipe bombs. So they don't know if he had any ill intent, which I don't think he'll get charged for that. I think he'll just get charged for having pipe bombs.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty crazy, having pipe bombs. Hopefully I don't get flagged or anything for this, but I always kind of wanted to make one just to, blow stuff up and whatever.
Well, you know what me and my stepbrother used to do is make the toilet cleaner bombs.
Toilet cleaner bombs. I've never heard of that.
So you take toilet bowl cleaner, and it has like a certain chemical in it that you put it down in a plastic bottle. I actually probably shouldn't say this, but
It's all right. I'm sure people can find it on the internet.
Okay, well, you put aluminum foil down in there with it.
Okay.
And like it creates a gas that explodes.
All right. And then you put it in like a pop bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that online. Yeah. It's not really an explosive. I don't think it could hurt you. Do you think it could hurt you?
I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty crazy start to the year.
All right, fine. I also used to make homemade napalm.
Now I know how to make that.
All right, you tell me your recipe.
All right. I don't know if we should be telling recipes, but the way that I'm gonna do it is so I have 3 stumps in front of my house where I cut down the
Okay.
big bushes, and if I can't get our tractor down here to pull them out, I was just gonna burn them like completely down.
You gotta be careful doing that, you know.
Well, I was gonna do it one at a time, and
Well, no, it's just that you don't know how far the roots go, and like I don't know how close they are to anything, but like they could be if they touch your house or whatever.
I'll have a water hose just in case.
Okay.
But that's my second plan. If I can't pull them out, is I was gonna make some napalm, which it's pretty simple to make. I'm not gonna tell you how. I mean, if people want to make it, they can find it online. But yeah, I was gonna.
So I made it a lot when I was like in my teen years, and but then I made it one time when we lived in Washington, and like we lived in like the suburbs,
Yeah.
and so like you know we didn't have a very big yard. We were crammed with neighbors, and but I had a metal trash can, and I took the metal lid and I put it out in the yard, and then I poured the napalm on it and burned it that way. I just wanted to show the wife, and I had the ingredients to make it.
Yeah.
And,
Now I do got a question. Does your napalm require gas?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's basically the same one that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I lit it, and it burned for like hours.
Yeah.
And but it heated up the pan so much it like just burnt a hole in the ground.
Oh, okay. Now, see, I've never really messed around with it, but I do know the way to make it. So, and I got the materials to make it for whenever if I do plan on going that route to burn out the stumps to be able to do it. So,
okay, we'll trade recipes. After.
All right, yeah. I just don't want to get in trouble, and
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, they're talking about making bombs on Twitch.
Yeah. Then the FBI comes.
Yeah. Somebody swats us.
Let me see. Let me see. I got a little paper that I wrote down some like
yeah.
title stuff too.
What else you got?
I think yeah, I've already said what I had.
Okay.
That's all right though. Oh, there is one thing. So I was reading about the president of South Korea.
Okay.
So basically, he tried to do martial law, which gives him like the power over everything.
Yeah.
And the reason why he was doing martial law is party members of their government were investigating him for like a bunch of different things. I believe it was like fraud and embezzlement and like all this other stuff.
Makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah, and before like they could really get the courts and stuff involved in South Korea, he did like this 12-hour martial law thing before other party members of their government took over with their military and then impeached him and then put him on house arrest. And now they just pretty much grabbed him. And I guess now they're going to be going through like the whole thing of putting him through their court system and whatnot. So right at this moment, I don't think South Korea has a president. I think, you know what? Let me look that up.
Okay.
See who the new president is. Who is the new? I forgot how to spell it for a second. All right. So I cannot say that name. Can you say that name?
Yoon?
Yoon Suk Yeol. I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it, but that's how I'm saying it right now. He's let's see, he's the current president of South Korea. All right, so I guess this is the guy who is impeached right now. So yeah, I don't think they have a current president.
True, man. I am feeling very spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies. I'm trying to.
Gotta get more sleep.
Yeah, I really. Oh, you gotta stop playing so much Diablo.
Oh yeah. Well, my thing is I was thinking about that the other day. I think there might be something wrong with me because
Hmm.
I'll only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then I just go on with my day, and I've done that for God since I was like 16,
Yeah,
and that's how my sleeping pattern is. Like I'll get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then I'm just good for the rest of the day.
yeah.
And like I can't seem to sleep past like 5 hours.
I mean, that's how I sleep. It's
I don't
4 or 5
know.
hours at a time.
Well, the thing is I'm trying to be like more healthier. Like I've been taking like more vitamins and stuff, which I will say I was getting sick 2 days ago. And the last 2 days I've overloaded myself with a bunch of vitamins and it's gone. So I don't know, whatever you want to say about that, but I will say they work. But what was I going on about?
Sleep.
Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to get like a little healthier and whatnot, and the main thing says you need sleep. Well, I have kids, so I can't just like take naps throughout the day and everything. And I still want to try to do the stuff that I want to do, which is at nighttime, which I'm doing right now, and I might play the game or something later. I might sand the wall, which my hands are sore as crap right now because I've been trying to sand the walls of our house because we have old plastered walls
Yeah.
and the paint. I don't know if I'm not experienced in painting at all. I looked up
Okay.
a couple YouTube videos. Thank God we have YouTube. And I painted the living room, but all you got to do is go over there and just barely touch it, and the paint comes straight off. So obviously, I needed to sand more. So I did get a wall sander for Christmas. I am currently scraping off all the old paint and sanding it, and like my hands are so sore right now. Feels like I don't even know what it feels like, but they are sore. So hopefully I can get through that. I tried to do it all in one day, but there's just no way. After like 3 hours of my hands started cramping and everything, there's no way I'm gonna do it in
Are
one
you
day.
using a hand sander or are you doing it by hand?
So the easiest way I found to do it is to take a scraper blade or whatever
Okay.
and just scrape off the old paint, because what I planned on doing was just getting the sander and sanding over it. But how slick the paint is that's on it, like the sander takes a little bit longer to get it off.
Mm.
So it's just easier if I just like all across the wall and then take the sander and then sand the whatever's behind the paint that I have on it. But that's my goal to get that done. So hopefully I can get that done. But yeah, I totally forgot what I was talking about. Oh, sleep. Yeah,
Yes. Sleep.
I keep spanning off to different things. But yeah, I'm trying to be more healthy. I don't know. I just feel like if I sleep more than like 5 hours or 6 hours, I'm wasting my time. If that makes any sense. So it's the mental thing I think I have to get through, and then obviously I'm gonna have to sacrifice some activities and whatnot if I want to get more sleep. Um,
Well, I mean, it's all about what is your what's your priorities, right? Like if your health is more important to you than playing video games, and yeah, you know,
yeah, I don't know. I might push it off until next year, because then next year my youngest will start school, and then I'll have plenty of time during the day to do whatever I want. So I don't know. Might just push it off. But yeah, let's see. What's uh what's your goal for 2025, or like your New Year's resolution or
well, I
whatever?
wouldn't really say I have a resolution, but we talked about goals last time. So I'm gonna start college, which I need to like tomorrow or whenever, start making those phone calls and going to see the people and talk to people I got to talk to use my benefits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I also would really like to get the fence up around my house. I want to get a privacy fence around my property.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, are you doing that yourself, or are you gonna hire a
I'll
contractor to
probably
come in and
hire
do it?
somebody. I'll see how much it costs.
Okay.
If it's more than I
Could
can
be a pretty
afford.
penny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I mean, privacy fences. I mean, even trying to install them yourself is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I also would really like to get my trailer uh, a bit more up and running
Okay.
because I'd like to rent it out this year.
All right.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy for me to think about to be like a landlord,
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna have to deal with people.
Residents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite the responsibility to take in.
Yeah, I would definitely make sure you get you know, ones with good characteristics and
Yeah,
one that will actually take care of stuff.
yeah.
That's kind of hard, especially in our area.
Well, I'm hoping that I have a buddy that will end up moving in, but no guarantees or anything there. Just if it suits them at the
Yeah.
time, then
If it happens, it happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
And but I mean, for me, I hope that he does, because then I don't have to worry about trying to get some random stranger.
Yeah, it takes off the edge of
Yeah,
all that. Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for my goals for this year. I think that's pretty hefty, pretty big things to try to accomplish.
Well,
Um,
go ahead.
okay. I am also coming off of my medications this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What medications like?
All my antidepressants and stuff like
Okay.
that.
All right.
So yeah, I'm finally coming off all of them this year. Hopefully,
Now, is this like something the doctor is helping you with, or you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna come
yeah,
off
yeah,
of it?
yeah. My care team's on board and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, and hopefully that means that I'll start losing a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And other side effects will go away.
You want to know what I'm gonna start doing again?
Tell me.
So I went through I wouldn't say I went through a spaz, but I went through like a thing where I was fasting,
Okay.
and the only reason I want to try to do that is for like the brain health of it, because when I was fasting, I can tell you don't have that fog or like whatever it is when you're fasting. It's like straight to the point. You're like way more alert, and I thought about it the other night that I might start doing that again.
Mm.
So what I used to do is, I don't know if it's really fasting, but it's the way I found it the easiest thing to do. Because right now I'm just eating whatever I want, eating junk food, especially at night. I will say I've definitely been snacking at nighttime. But the way I used to do it is I would wait until nighttime, probably about 7, 8 o'clock p.m. to eat, and then I would just eat one time. And then I would go the whole day the next day, wait till that time, eat. Because I don't know how people can. I tried it to fast for like multiple days. That is hard.
Yeah, I had to do that once.
Yeah, that is. I tried it a couple of times. I just couldn't do it. Like I got to the point like where, like that really tests your willpower.
Yeah.
And especially if like I'm at work and I'll just be sitting there, like I'll be working, and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh man, a Reese's would be really good. That's all I would be thinking about, is going to get a Reese's. And then I would be like walking up near the break room and stuff where all the food and stuff is in, and then I would just like look over, and sometimes my will would just break. I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna go get me a Reese's. But
Yeah.
that is definitely like a willpower battle right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do multiple days. One of my buddies, he does like 3 or 4 days of fasting. And I gotta give him credit. It's pretty hard. I don't know how people do it. I guess, I used to think I had strong willpower and everything, but I guess it's not as strong as I thought it was. Because if a Reese's will break it, I got some mental thinking to do about it. But yeah. So
So what if your mother died?
oh god. All right. So this is about a Reddit post. Do you want me to bring it up,
Uh,
or do you just want to talk about the topic?
I just want to talk about the topic.
All right. So I've actually thought about this a couple times because 2 years ago my mom did have a stroke, and when like your parent or somebody close to you has something that's kind of life threatening, you really sit there and think, like what if like this is the last time, this and that. Um, the way that I mean, it would be hard, like if of parent of passed away or whatever. The way I would deal with it is, you know, dying is a part of life. It's something that everybody does. Um, Everybody handles it differently. I would try my best to stay in a positive mood and everything for, my family and kids. Um, and I would just try to, celebrate the life that, the parent lived and everything. And, obviously you got to go on with your life and you got to deal with that heartache and pain. So yeah, I would just force myself to keep doing my everyday life and live my life for, your parent that passed away.
So I have lost someone that I would consider a parent,
Okay.
and it's been very difficult to process it. And like there are days where it's like it feels like fresh information. But mainly I try to think like what would they want me to do,
Yeah.
and because she would want me to keep living my life and keep doing the best that I can. And I think about it a lot of times. Like I hope she's proud of me, and like I hope I'm doing right by her, and this, that, and the other. And yeah, so I mean that's kind of how I handle it and tackle it.
Okay. That kind of reminds me of a thought that I was having the other night. It has nothing to do with like dying or whatever, but so apparently in the Middle East, there's this fun, like an event happening where all these Muslims are having dreams of Jesus and everything.
Okay.
And like the Muslim countries and stuff like that are like kind of on alert because it's happening to like thousands and thousands of people, and it could just be like a population thing where I forget what they call it, where like something happens and like it goes to the population, but it's not like really there. It's just like a hysterica or whatever it is. But it kind of made me think like a religion standpoint, and if the life I'm living is this might this might not make any sense. But if like the life I'm living is actually like a good thing, because how I am right now, I don't really have a religion. I don't I have rules or morals that I keep myself kind of straight with. Like don't cheat, don't lie. The basic ones, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But I don't really have a religion. Like I don't. For me, the only thing I don't like is for a religion, even though they say like it was created from Jesus or God or whatever. It's all written by man. So that's the thing that kind of gets me like I wish there was some type of actual proof we had instead of just a bunch of books and stuff written by a bunch of people in different timeline or different, times and stuff like that, it makes it a lot harder to believe, if that makes any sense.
I didn't think we'd be tackling this topic.
I didn't think either, but then you brought up the whole, death thing, and then it just like popped in my head. But
okay, so I don't know if I've talked about this before or not, but so my religion is Norse pagan.
okay,
Know what that is?
yeah,
Okay. Uh, and so a couple years ago, when I was in a pretty dark place, uh, my wife is Christian,
yeah,
and I would go to church with her, and like just sit with her while she went through the service and whatnot, and just to be supportive. And and then I found myself, I was almost like jealous and envious of her because she had something to believe in.
yeah. She's got something to like back her up.
Yeah, she has something to turn to.
Yeah,
And I was like, man, like, am I missing out by not having that? And ultimately, I was like, if I'm gonna believe, like, I researched like all different religions
yeah,
and stuff, and I was like, if I'm gonna believe in something, like, I want to believe in what I want to believe in. And so I was like, fuck it, like, Norse pagan it is, like, if I were to believe in anything like that, I hope is real. Like, I hope that this is real,
yeah.
you know. And so yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on it. That if I think I feel that if you don't believe in something, then you're missing out. I think that's what my opinion boils down
Yeah.
to.
See, that's the thing that kind of gets me too. That's what like kind of draws me back in from like whatever stance that I'm at. But I don't know. I just humans lie. We we make up things all the time. Um, I would say the majority are all scared of dying because when you die, it's the unknown. You don't know if there's gonna be something afterwards, and that's the thing that frightens a lot of people. Is
Yeah,
what if there isn't?
yeah,
What if like this life just gets snuffed out and then
yeah.
that's it?
I mean, it's terrifying,
Yeah.
but it,
So I don't know. My thing is and plus there's just so many religions. Like,
yeah,
how do you know that one is the one?
yeah,
After like all the thousands and thousands of religions, there's only one real one or one true one.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just I would say that's the kicker for me, and that's the thing I probably battle with the most. Um, I'll probably continue to battle with that until I don't know, one day I become enlightened or something changes. Um, until then, I guess we'll see. I mean, right now I'm still in the same, I guess, stance that I've been in. But I will say it is kind of interesting how like all these Muslims are having dreams of Jesus and whatnot, and apparently it's somewhere in the Bible. Um, I would try to find it, but I wouldn't even know how to go about finding it.
Yeah. Uh, well, I mean, I'm like ignorant when it comes to most religions. Like, I get the basics of them, but like I couldn't deep dive into them.
Yeah,
Like,
I did read about how like I'm not trying to step on any religions or anything like that, but apparently I was reading this thing where um, the Vatican and like the Catholics and stuff, when they were in England and whatnot, they were trying to convert the Vikings and the Danes and like all the pagans and people, and they started adding stuff into their religion to try to convert them in,
mm-hmm. Yep.
and that's where like the Christmas tree and uh, what else was it? It was something else. It had to do that like it's like a main thing for Christmas. but they implemented into their religion, and then that's how they got like more and more Vikings and Danes and pagans and all that to convert. So I mean, I don't know. You think of that what you want. It does make you think. All right, let's get off this subject. We're gonna clear this subject because I don't feel like going down a whole religious rabbit hole and everything.
Okay, so what about let's talk about this Reddit post here. Okay, I'll read it. It is titled "Sexless Marriage." I've been with my partner for 16 years. We've had our ups and downs, and I have worked past him cheating on me. We have 2 kids together, and at the time the kids were small, so I didn't want to split up the family. Shortly after the cheating, he developed a medical problem that caused his scrotum to swell to the size of a cantaloupe, maybe a little bigger. He is unable to have sex now, and it's been like that for the last 5, going on 6 years. After all this time, he has seen a urologist, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's not like doing anything about it. She says, I'm starting to get annoyed and aggravated. I'm still young and I feel like I'm just wasting a lot of my youth waiting around for him to get better. I hate even saying that because I feel like I sound like all I care about is sex. And everything we have been through in his infidelity, I wonder if roles were reversed, would he be waiting and patient for me and loyal? Also, would he still be cheating on me with other women if he was able to have sex? Sometimes I just want to break it off. I don't know how to get this off my chest.
Okay, so how do you want to go about this?
Well, I think we need to give her some poor therapy, and then I kind of want to talk about like, could you do a sexless marriage? All right, let's tackle.
All right, one thing at a time. All right, so my opinion for this is for her. God, see. All right, so if she leaves the guy because he can't have sex, I mean, it would kind of be selfish, but then again, like, you know, that's what those bonds and everything is what kind of keeps relationships going.
Well, I mean, I think it's like that's one of the reasons why you're in a relationship is to have sex, and I think it boils down to like if he's not willing to do anything about it, then you are kind of justified in being able to leave, or at least threatening him with leaving to try and get him motivated to take care of the problem.
Well, what it sounds like is he might have a testosterone problem because like I know I've read where like boxers and sports people will go like months and months without having sex because it spikes up your um, testosterone and it makes you like more. I don't know what you want to. I guess like raging, but if he has no desire to fix it at all, I mean, I would have to say, God, that is a tough one. But in the end, I would have to say, if he's not trying to fix it, I'd have to say leave because she'll probably end up cheating because if it's what'd you say 6-7 years,
Yeah.
All a guy probably has to do is look at her and call her beautiful, and then she's probably on him. So yeah, if he doesn't want to try to fix it, I would say leave. Now, if I had to go through this, I would obviously try to, do my best to fix it. I would probably take like whatever you had to take, Blue Chew or something like that. I don't know exactly what you'd have to do to fix it, but I would do my best in trying to fix it. And if there's no fixing it, I mean, what do you do if there's no fixing it? Like the doctor is like, there's no way you're gonna get a boner. Like what would you do? Would you give your wife
Hall pass.
a hall pass.
Oh man,
That's a tough one.
that's a tough one. So if it came back that I couldn't get an erection at all, even with taking something,
Like Blue Chew don't work.
okay,
Dead as a doornail.
I got a tongue.
Okay.
that's my answer to it.
All right. So you would just like invest in toys and
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if your wife is just like, I need the real thing? Because there's obviously going to be other problems that arise.
I think. Okay. Well, so you can you can clone a willy. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean that's an option, but if that's not if she really wants the real thing, then I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'd give her a hall pass. I think I'd have to
Yeah.
break it off. Be like, I'm sorry.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to break it off too. And then see, then you got to be the one that like goes through life like, oh, I had to end my marriage because my wiener don't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Hopefully the guy,
But now, what if it was roles reversed and your wife like couldn't? Would I mean? So selfish.
I mean, do they make what'd you say that thing was called?
The clone.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Would that be good enough for you? A toy for the rest of your life?
I mean, I guess I would make it work. Yeah, because if I was in that situation, I'd make it work. Because I'm what was that?
That is Discord. Oh my God, you're an idiot.
That's all right. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I had to go through that situation and my woman couldn't have sex anymore, I would do that clone a vagina thing and just just go on through life. It's a pretty interesting conversation.
Yeah. Oh man, could I do it? I know my wife is watching right now, so I gotta watch what I say. No. I mean, I think my answer applies, and vice versa. They have a mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and that would be enough for me. I'd be happy with that.
We apologize for the graphic language.
Yeah.
All right. What other one do you have?
Okay.
That was a pretty good one, honestly.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't want to talk about that one, so we're not going to talk
that
about
one.
it.
Yeah, that one's way worse. Like, I mean, obviously, that because it is a Reddit post, that person did have that happen, and I kind of hope nobody comes to us with that because that is, I wouldn't know what to say. Yeah, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, no, I don't really have one then. How would you? I don't know. You know how you say how you take time to like humble yourself and whatnot whenever you get into that headspace.
Yeah.
What things do you feel like you take for granted?
All right.
And this is what made me think of this. On the ride here, I was like, man, this river road is awfully beautiful, and I drive it all the time, and I feel like I don't appreciate it as much.
All right. I do take our surrounding area for granted because during the summer I occasionally do like work down at the river and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I meet all kinds of people, and every single one is just like, oh, this place is so beautiful. You're so lucky to live here, and this is the place where people want to retire at, and this and that, and I'm just like, it's okay, like and it's only because I've grown up here,
Yeah.
and I'm just used to the environment. So I would have to say I take the area we live at for granted. Every now and then I will get into like a mood where I'm just like, oh man, like this is a pretty place. Like I'm happy. I live here and this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But that's usually only during the summer when it's nice and warm, and I got like a bonfire going. I'm just chilling by it and whatnot. Um,
See, for me, it's fall time. I like
I don't. I
I
don't.
like the foliage, man. I like the
I don't like.
foliage.
I don't like it.
Every
My favorite time is definitely summer. Let's see. What else do I take for granted? Mm,
I definitely take my wife for granted.
I would say that I was gonna say that actually that I take my woman for granted
Yeah.
because I mean just doing this like she's watching the kids for me and doing all the adult responsibilities and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say I take that for granted. Um, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. You should have told me this before so I could brainstorm,
Oh, okay.
but it's all right.
All right. Well, I got a story
Okay, let's hear it.
talking about foliage. Okay. When I was an airman in Washington, I used to have to drive around like the bigwigs, like generals and senators and governors and stuff like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was the most boring thing in the world.
I'd be constantly trying to talk to them and just asking them like whatever questions.
So some of them are really chill and they're like, they want to connect with the younger folks
Yeah,
and like you can have an actual conversation with them. Most of them do not care that you exist, and just like you're just a driver to them.
yeah.
And but there was one that I drove him for 3 days, and the first day he kind of ignored me, and he didn't like say nothing to me, and he was just like, take him here, take him there, take him this place. But then the next day, I met him in the morning, and it was just me and him, and I think like one of his entourages, and he got to talking to me, and found out that I was from Virginia, and more importantly, the Shenandoah Valley.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh man, you know, I took a vacation there, and me and the missus, we just drove up and down through Skyline Drive and everything like that." And for the next 2 days, all he would talk to me about is the foliage,
Yeah.
about the leaves changing colors. And like, I'm not talking like this wasn't just a one-off thing. Like he would go out of his way to come up to me and talk to me about the foliage.
No.
And it's like, sir, like there's more to me than just the foliage. Like there's a whole person here. But yeah,
Yeah, we down at the river we get a lot of people that are kind of I guess obsessed with leaves and
yeah,
how they change. And then it was funny. We had some foreigners come in and they kept asking like, "What time do you feed the bears and the deer and like all this other crap?" And I was just like, "No, no, no, you can't feed them. Like that's against the law." And then he was like, "Well, we see them on the internet and like there's all the time people there." And I was like, "Well, yeah, like they cross the roads and stuff and whatnot. Like you can look at them, like don't approach them
yeah.
and everything." So like I said, I definitely do take the area we live in for granted. But there are times where I'll get into like a bad mood and then I'm just like, I hate this place
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. But overall, I would say, it's a good place.
So I had an interesting conversation with a buddy of mine about, do I think I'm better than people?
Okay. So this is the ego thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, I think for the most part, I do not think that I am better than people. But then he hit me with,
Oh,
what about Page County people?
okay.
And I was like, oh man, no, maybe a little bit. Maybe I do think I'm a little better than them.
So the way that I keep myself from kind of going about that is everybody has different problems, different opportunities. Like everybody has something that's different, like, So I'm constantly like in the mindset of like, don't try to put myself above others or whatever because I didn't have their difficulties, I didn't have their opportunities.
Yeah.
Like I got my own, and everybody has their own difficulties, their opportunities, and whatnot. That's just how life is. And I keep myself in that state of mind just so like I'm not like, for instance, I don't know, somebody that has less that I see, and I'm, obviously it's human nature to judge. I try my best to keep from that.
I'd say I'm very judgmental. I am.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, it's just, if anything, I get joy out of judging people. And let me tell you why. Because I love seeing like a crackhead. And I'll just be like, look, sweetie, a crackhead. And like, I don't know, I get joy out of that. And like making fun of that person and whatnot. And but it's awful. I get it. But
Yeah.
I think I love those moments when I can be awful. Like obviously,
Well, I mean, everybody does it. Like
yeah.
I do it. Like if somebody says they don't, I mean, they're obviously lying.
Yeah.
Everybody judges. You can keep yourself from, outright doing it and showing it. I would say that's probably what I do. Because like usually I just try to keep myself because like I said, like I don't know what that person's been through.
Yeah.
I've never done a hard drug, so obviously if I ever did meth, crack, whatever it is, I don't know how that would change me. I don't know the grip that has.
But see, in all honesty, like I do think that I am better than that person because I didn't do the drug.
Yeah.
And to me, that makes me, in my mind, that makes me a better person. And so it's like I never want to be talked down to, right? I never want someone to approach me that they have the mindset that they're better than me because I've dealt with that a lot, and so I don't want to do that in turn. So I'm never going to approach someone like,
Yeah.
And however, I mean, the if I really think about how I honestly feel about it, then yeah, I do think that I'm better than this person. I would say now that we're talking about like bottom of the barrel, like like people here. The average person, not so much. I don't think that like I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think I'm better than anybody really.
Well, I try not to, like I said, I try not to put my mind in that type of mindset. It's like I don't believe I'm better than anybody. Like I said, everybody's got their difficulties, their opportunities. I could have a back injury this year, and the doctors give me, I don't know what's the Percocets or OxyContin or whatever, and then I'm just like, oh, it makes me feel kind of good. It's not gonna hurt, and then boom, like that has a hold of me, and then after a while, it doesn't work as much, and then my back is hurting, and I'm like, you know what? Let me smoke some meth, and then you go down that road. So, like I said, everybody's got their own difficulties, their situations, and whatnot. So, I try my best not to look down on other people and whatnot, but it is human nature. I've done it before. I mean, it's everybody does it. That is a very interesting topic you had there.
Thank you.
You want to know a little fact?
What?
And this might go down a little rabbit hole. So we have prescription drugs that are not addictive. We have pain medicines that aren't addictive. The thing is like OxyContin, Percocets, and stuff like that are addictive. the doctors and whatnot get like a little money on the side for everyone that they push out. So they don't usually dish out the non-addictive kind. They usually push out the addictive kind because that's a resupply. Somebody's gonna come back and whatnot.
This sounds like another conspiracy.
It's not actually a conspiracy.
This is real info.
Yeah, this is real info, and actually RFK, which is Trump's top health advisor or whatever, that's
Department of Health.
Yeah, he's going to be taking over that. He's actually coming out with all that and everything this year. So this year is going to be pretty interesting on, what people think is a conspiracy and what's not.
When does Trump officially take office?
I think it's January 20th.
Okay.
But, me having like a conspiracy type mind, I think something might happen before then, to kind of make it a little harder. So we'll just have to see. That's just, what I've thought. Could not be true. Could be true. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait till January 20th. But yeah.
We'll be going for about an hour.
I want to do one more.
Okay, what you want to talk about?
Let me see if I can find this one. Oh, here's that one, the sexless marriage that you found. All right. No, I don't want to do that one. That one's too iffy.
Well, you don't want to talk about. I'm not gonna say it.
No, that one's too long. All right. What about this one? So this guy says 1 week sober. I haven't drunk in a week, and I needed to tell somebody. So there is a lot of people that I guess drink alcohol to try to deal with their life. It's a very common thing in America.
Yeah.
If your friend came to you and was like, I'm 1 week sober and everything, how would you? Or no. All right, it's better off to put it into like your own perspective. So if you had a drinking problem, how would you go about it, and how would you, kick it off or whatever?
Well, I had a drinking problem.
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay. So in my early years in the military, probably like my second and third year, I got to be quite the alcoholic. And
now, what made you turn into an alcoholic exactly? It was just like
social.
Everybody was doing it.
Yeah, okay. Just a social thing, and it's a stereotype that military people drink like crazy and stuff. So yeah, he was just more or less being part of the crowd, and then it turned into more like I'm doing this because of I'm sad and shit, and it became a lot of like drinking on my own. And then the wife moved in with me, and that's when it like really started kind of becoming a problem. And we had one really bad night. I was drinking I don't know what they're called. The thing that you get, like, the thing you get like Gatorade out of, like the Gatorade dispensers.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but it was full of vodka.
Okay.
And I was just sitting at the kitchen table, just.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And listening.
So you're just taking vodka shots.
Yeah. Well, glasses.
Okay.
And it was a mixed drink. It had like strawberries and shit in it. It was really good. But I was listening to Kid Rock, and apparently Kid Rock is one of my like suicidal tells, and or like that I'm getting super depressed and stuff. And yeah, it got pretty ugly between me and her. A lot of harsh words were exchanged and stuff. And after that, the next day, I was like, okay, no more. And so I just quit.
All right. So the main thing is a lot of people don't have like either somebody to make them want to quit, or their partner is doing it, and then they're just like, both going down that road, and it could be 20 years, and then all that happens. Alcoholism, or whatever you want to call it, runs pretty heavy in my family.
Yeah.
I,
See, for me, I think cutting cold turkey is the way to go. A lot of people say you got to wean yourself off. I think cold turkey is the
well,
way
see,
to
the
go.
problem is if you drink enough and long enough, cold turkey will kill you.
Yeah.
So there's only two things when you withdraw that will kill you, and one is benzos, which I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think it's like a depression medicine, if I'm not mistaken, or anxiety medicine, and then alcohol. And if you cold turkey that, you have a chance of dying. So I would not advise cold turkeying. Just do the whole method of drinking less, and then eventually you get down to where you only need like a shot here and there.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So don't cold turkey. Um, but yeah, I would say alcohol is a huge problem for most Americans. A lot of people usually never get off of it, and I know quite a few people that's died from it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and hopefully, if you're fighting to stay sober and whatnot, uh, you know, just keep on going because alcohol doesn't solve anything. You might think it does. It doesn't. It just, pushes the problem for tomorrow. And then you got to deal with the problem tomorrow. And that problem, accumulates. And what was one problem is 10. And then it just becomes too much. And then you just drink all the time just to try to run from your problems. So if you are sober, congratulations. Keep up the good work. You got anything you want to say?
No, man, I'm good.
All right, guys. We will be going live next Thursday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, next Thursday. As far as I know, I do not have to work overtime Thursday. I know I do have to work Tuesday. As far as I know, I don't have to work Thursday. So if I do, I will obviously let you know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'll put out a video for people.
Okay.
And then we can change it. But yeah, so hopefully we go live next Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Like I said, if you want to talk to us or you need port therapy or you want our opinion on something, and like I said, we are not licensed therapists, but that's okay. If you want a confession or if you just need somebody to talk to, I mean, all you got to do is message us, email us. I mean, we got Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Let's see what else. We got social media, so it's not hard to reach out. Reach out and we'll set it up, and we'll talk to you and give you port therapy. So hope everybody has a good night and has a good rest of the year for 2025.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, and we will talk to y'all next Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Peace.
Later, guys. Bye-bye.